I am Dr. William Thiele, and this is the 6th episode in our series, In Times Like These. Today, we're taking just a few minutes to focus on self-compassion, and specifically the yin and yang of self-compassion, or the gentle and fierce sides of self-compassion. I want to share a little outline with you to give you a sense of where this work comes from. The research and study and presentations of Dr. Kristen Neff and Dr. Germer, who've more recently especially focused on these both sides of self-compassion that can be so important in these times. So here's a little image of it all. This is the yin and yang of self-compassion. So part of their work that I think it's important for us to remember in these times is both being gentle with ourselves, that side of self-compassion, but also the aspects of protecting and providing for and motivating ourselves in these challenging times we're living in. So an example of the gentler side of self-compassion is when we express it as loving, connected presence, a kind of kindness towards ourselves, remembering our common humanity, our connection to others, and being mindful or present to what's happening with ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings, and even what's happening with our own heart. Obviously, that's an important part of this work in these days. But there's that other side that we don't often associate with self-compassion, the more fierce side. This more active or fierce side includes our own variety of ways of protecting ourselves and providing for ourselves, and also motivating ourselves in challenging times. So this side of self-compassion can translate as fierce, empowered clarity, like when we get more clear in these days of how we want to live our lives and begin to craft a life around a new way of living that is maybe better for us in these days, and then ultimately better for the people around us. Another way to express the fierce or more active side is as encouraging, wise vision. So breaking out of the mold of the way things have been for so long can give us new vision, wiser vision, inspired by the common humanity, those people around the globe that are going through this with us, or better ways to live, which can encourage us for how we want to live our lives in these new days. One other expression of this work then is fulfilling balanced authenticity. It's pretty easy to get it that we need more being true to who we are in these days. So if we need more rest, we rest. If we need more exercise, we exercise. I just want to encourage you to find your own best ways in these days to practice both sides of self-compassion, the gentle side and the more active or fierce side of caring for your own needs as best you can in these days. Ultimately, to me, that means finding a source of power greater than myself, in which I can source my whole life and my decisions and how I want to live in these days. So we'll continue this series from time to time in times like these, living a more contemplative life through these challenges.